Chosen one, there is something about you that cannot be explained in words, something that is felt before it is understood. It is not merely physical, not something that can be replicated or imitated. It is something far deeper, something unshakable, something that radiates from within and commands attention without effort. From the moment you walk into a room, the air shifts. It is not because you try to be noticed. In fact, you do not chase attention, do not seek validation, do not need to prove anything to anyone. And yet, they notice you. Their breath catches for a second, their focus sharpens, their energy responds instinctively before they even understand why. They try to rationalize it, try to tell themselves that it is just attraction, just admiration, just another presence that happens to stand out. But deep down they know it is something more. It is something rare, something undeniable, something they cannot escape even if they wanted to. You carry yourself with the kind of confidence that does not need to be loud. It does not scream for attention, it does not demand recognition. It is the quiet, unwavering confidence of a man who knows himself completely, a man who is comfortable in his own presence. And that is what takes their breath away. Because they have met men who seek approval, men who adjust themselves to fit into the expectations of others, men who try to impress in hopes of being chosen. But you are different. You do not try to be chosen. You do not seek to convince. You do not alter your presence to make someone feel a certain way about you. And yet, they cannot look away. It is the way you exist with certainty, the way you hold space without needing to fill it with unnecessary words, the way you move as if you belong wherever you are without needing permission. It is the way your energy speaks louder than anything you say, the way your presence lingers in their mind long after you have left. They do not understand how you do it. They only know that they feel different when you are near. They find themselves adjusting unconsciously, standing taller, shifting their body to be noticed, hoping for even the slightest acknowledgement from you. And yet, you do not give it freely. Not because you are unkind, not because you are arrogant, but because you do not seek validation in the same way others do. And that is what makes you unforgettable. Because while others try to be impressive, try to be seen, try to prove their worth, you simply are, and that is why you take their breath away. Chosen one, they are not prepared for what it feels like to be in your presence. They have met men before, have been admired, have been pursued, have had their beauty praised in 1,000 different ways, but none of it compares to this, because you are not like the others. You are not chasing, you are not performing, you are not hoping to be accepted. And that makes you the most dangerous kind of man. The kind who does not need anything from them, yet still commands their full attention. They feel it in the way they react before they even realize it. The way their breath slows, the way their body leans forward slightly, the way their mind becomes fixated on you, searching for an explanation as to why they suddenly feel out of control. They were supposed to be the ones in charge. They were supposed to be the ones who decided who was worth their attention. But now, they are the ones hoping to be seen by you. And that terrifies them, because they have never felt like this before. They have never had a man make them question their own power, their own control, their own ability to dictate the pace of attraction. But you are not like any man they have ever met. Your presence is not fleeting, not easily forgotten, not something that can be explained away as mere interest or curiosity. It is an experience, one that lingers, one that leaves them wondering, one that makes them rethink everything they thought they knew about attraction. They find themselves comparing everyone else to you. They find themselves disappointed when other men fail to evoke the same reaction. They find themselves craving something they do not even fully understand. Because what you give them is not just attraction, it is certainty. It is the certainty of a man who does not need permission to be who he is. It is the certainty of a man who does not beg for attention, but instead lets his energy do the speaking. It is the certainty of a man who knows he is enough, without needing anyone to confirm it. And that certainty is what takes their breath away. Not your words, not your looks, not anything superficial that can be replicated or borrowed. It is the rarest kind of power, the kind that comes from deep within, the kind that cannot be faked, the kind that leaves an impact without effort. And now, They are left with only one question. How do they become the ones who get to experience that power up close? Chosen one. Something is happening to them. Something they cannot name. Something they cannot explain. Something they cannot control. It starts subtly at first. An awareness, a shift in their energy when you are near. They feel your presence before they see you, like an invisible force that alters the very air they breathe. They do not understand why they feel this way. They only know that they do. You are not trying to impress them, yet they are already impressed. You are not chasing them, yet they are already hoping you will look their way. You are not bending over backward to win their attention, yet they find themselves wanting to earn yours. This is not how it is supposed to be. They have spent their lives being pursued, being admired, being placed on a pedestal by men who wanted them, men who tried too hard to be noticed, men who would have done anything just to be in their orbit. But you are different. You are the first man who does not seem affected by their presence in the way others are. The first man who does not stumble over his words, does not seek their approval, does not let their beauty dictate how he carries himself. And that is what makes you impossible to ignore. Because while every other man before you has sought to please them, sought to prove themselves, sought to be the one who captures their attention, you do not play by those rules. You walk through the world as if you do not need anyone to validate you. As if your worth has already been decided, and you have no interest in convincing anyone of it. And that makes them desperate to be the one you choose. They do not understand why this feeling is so strong. They only know that they feel it. They only know that when they are near you, they feel the need to straighten their posture, to adjust their tone, to be more without you even asking them to be. They want to impress you, not because you demand it, not because you expect it, but because your presence alone makes them feel like they should be worthy of your attention. And that realization shakes them to their core, because before you, they always assumed that they would never feel this way about a man. That attraction was something they controlled, something they dictated, something they had power over. But now, they are realizing the truth. You are the first man who has ever made them question everything they thought they knew. And now, they are left with an unshakable certainty. If they do not capture your attention, if they do not find a way to make themselves unforgettable to you, if they do not become the one you choose, they will regret it forever. Chosen one, they are no longer just intrigued by you. They are no longer just drawn to your presence. They are no longer just admiring you from a distance. Now, they need to be seen by you. It is not enough to watch you from afar. It is not enough to feel your energy in passing. It is not enough to be one of the many who recognize what you are. They need to be the one who stands out, the one who lingers in your mind the way you have begun to linger in theirs, the one who gets to experience what it feels like to be truly chosen by you, the one who is not just another face in the crowd, but the one who holds your attention when no one else does. And that is the most terrifying part of all, because they have never had to fight for attention before. They have never had to wonder if they were enough. They have never had to prove themselves to anyone until now. But for you, they are willing to try. For you, they are willing to risk rejection. For you, they are willing to break their own rules. Because you are not like the others, and that means the rules they once lived by no longer apply. You are not impressed by superficiality. You are not swayed by empty validation. You do not chase, do not beg, do not give attention simply because it is demanded of you. And that has changed the game entirely. Now, they are the ones who must step forward. Now, they are the ones who must earn the right to be seen. Now they are the ones who must prove that they are worthy of standing beside you. And that realization is both thrilling and terrifying. Because for the first time, they are not in control. For the first time, they are the ones who feel the pressure of not being enough. For the first time, they are the ones who feel the fear of being overlooked. And that fear is what pushes them to do things they never thought they would do. They watch you more carefully now. They analyze your every move. They adjust themselves in ways they never thought they would have to. Because they refuse to be just another admirer. They refuse to be one of many. They refuse to let this feeling slip away without knowing if you feel it too. They will not wait in silence. They will not let hesitation steal what they know could be theirs. They will not allow another woman to step in and take the place they now believe was meant for them. So now, they must decide. Do they stay hidden in the background, hoping that you will notice them? Or do they step forward, risk it all, and make sure that you do? Because one thing is certain now. If they lose you, if they do not act, if they let you slip through their fingers, they will never forgive themselves. Chosen one, she has always believed she had control. Control over her emotions, control over her decisions, control over the way she let herself feel. She was the one who made the choices, the one who decided who was worthy, the one who dictated how far things would go. But now all of that control is slipping through her fingers. She thought she could manage this, thought she could keep you as nothing more than an intriguing presence, thought she could admire from a distance and walk away if she needed to. But now, the thought of losing you is unbearable. It started as curiosity, a glance that lasted too long, a moment where the air between you changed, became something electric, something heavy, something that lingered far too long after you walked away. A single encounter should not have mattered this much, but now you have settled into her mind, and she cannot shake you. She tries to push the feeling away, tries to convince herself that she's overreacting. But it is no use. Because this is not just attraction. This is not a passing interest, not a temporary moment of desire. This is something more, something deeper. Something she does not know how to handle. And now, she finds herself in a silent war with herself. She does not want to admit it, but she is afraid. Afraid that she has waited too long. Afraid that another woman has already stepped into the place she wanted for herself. Afraid that if she does not act now, if she does not find a way to make you see what she already knows, that she is meant to stand by your side, then she will live with the regret she cannot bear. She has never been the kind of woman to fear losing a man. But you are not just any man. And if she does nothing, if she lets this moment slip away, if she convinces herself that waiting is the best choice, then she will have to watch someone else experience what she knows could have been hers. And that is something she cannot allow. So now, she stands at a crossroads. She can stay where she is, watching from a distance, hoping you will notice her, praying that fate will intervene and bring you to her. Or she can step forward. She can risk the fear of rejection. She can choose courage over comfort, certainty over hesitation, action over silence. Because the pain of rejection is nothing compared to the pain of never knowing. Chosen one, the moment of decision has arrived. She has fought this feeling, wrestled with it, tried to control it. But now, there is no more denying it. She wants you. Not in the way she has wanted others before. Not in a way that is shallow, fleeting, or temporary. She wants all of you. She wants to be the one who holds your attention. The one who lingers in your mind. The one who gets to experience what it means to be truly seen by you. But she knows that men like you do not chase. Men like you do not beg for affection. Men like you do not waste time proving themselves to those who are too afraid to claim what they want. And so now, the burden is on her. It is up to her to prove herself. To show you that she understands. To make you see that she is not like the others, that she is not another admirer in the background, that she is not just another woman drawn to your presence, but unwilling to act. She is ready now. Ready to step into the unknown. Ready to lay down her pride. Ready to risk everything, because the thought of losing you is no longer an option she can accept. She does not know what will happen next. She does not know if you feel the same. She does not know if this risk will lead to something beautiful or to the kind of heartbreak she has never allowed herself to experience before. But she no longer cares about the outcome. Because the only thing worse than rejection, the only thing worse than making a mistake, the only thing worse than being vulnerable, is never knowing if you were meant to be hers all along. Chosen one, she thought she could walk away from this feeling, that if she distanced herself, if she distracted herself, if she surrounded herself with others, the pull toward you would fade. But she was wrong. It does not fade. It does not weaken. It does not give her even a moment's peace. Instead, it grows. It deepens. It settles into her bones like something ancient, something undeniable, something that has taken root inside of her and refuses to be ignored. This is not how it was supposed to be. She was supposed to be in control. She was supposed to be able to regulate her emotions, dictate the pace, decide when and how she would let herself feel. But now, control has left her completely. You are inside of her now. In her thoughts, in her breath, in the way she moves through the world, always looking for you, always hoping for a glance, always waiting for a moment where she can step into your presence and remember what it feels like to be near something that awakens her so completely. She has never wanted like this before. This is not a passive desire. This is not the kind of attraction she can simply shake off. This is something primal, something unrelenting, something that will not let her rest until she does something about it. But even now, even as she stands at the edge of a decision she knows will change everything, she hesitates. Because if she steps forward, if she makes it known that she wants you, if she makes herself vulnerable in a way she never has before, what if you do not want her in return? What if she has built this connection in her mind? What if this fire is only burning inside of her and you are untouched by it? The thought makes her breath catch. It is a kind of fear she has never experienced before, a kind of fear that grips her more tightly than anything she has ever known. Because if she is wrong, if you do not see her the way she sees you, if you have already given your attention to another, then this feeling, this thing that has wrapped itself around her heart, will become nothing but a painful memory. And yet, despite the fear, despite the risk, despite the possibility of heartbreak, she cannot walk away. She cannot let herself live a life where she never found out. She cannot let herself sit back and watch someone else take what she now believes is hers. Because deep down, even through the fear, even through the doubt, something inside of her is whispering that you feel it too. And now she has to find out if that whisper is telling the truth. Chosen one, she has spent too much time in hesitation. She has let fear dictate her actions for too long. And now she is done waiting. She is done wondering. She is done standing on the edge of something that could change her life. Too afraid to take the step forward. She will not be the woman who lets uncertainty rob her of something this rare. She will not be the woman who convinces herself that waiting is the answer, only to watch someone else claim what should have been hers. She is ready now, ready to show you that she is not just another admirer, not just another woman drawn to your presence, but too afraid to act. She is ready to prove to you that she understands, that she sees you, that she recognizes you for what you are, a man unlike any other, a man who will not be swayed by the shallow games of attraction, a man who only moves toward what is truly meant for him. And she wants to be that woman. She wants to be the one you choose, the one who stands beside you, the one who gets to experience the depth of what she feels every time she is near you. She does not know what will happen next. She does not know if you have been waiting for her to make this move, or if you have already decided that she is not the one. But she cannot live with the regret of never knowing. She would rather risk everything, rather put her heart on the line, rather step fully into the unknown than live the rest of her life wondering if you were meant to be hers. So now she moves. She steps forward, she lets go of doubt, she releases the fear, she silences the voice in her head telling her to wait just a little longer. Because she knows, deep in her bones, that if she hesitates for even a moment more, she will lose you forever. And that is not a future she is willing to accept. Chosen one, she is standing on the precipice of something life-changing, something that shakes the very foundation of the world she has carefully built around herself. This is not just desire anymore. This is not just attraction. This is not even a simple longing to be close to you. This is something greater, something deeper, something that feels like fate itself pulling her forward. And yet, despite the undeniable force of what she feels, she hesitates. She has never been in this position before. She has never had to question whether she should make the first move, never had to wonder if she was enough, never had to fight against her own pride, just to step forward. Men have always been the ones who chased, the ones who pursued, the ones who made their feelings known. But now, for the first time in her life, she is realizing that you are not like those men. You do not chase because you do not need to. You do not seek approval because you have already given yourself permission to be exactly who you are. You do not bend for validation because you understand that the right people will recognize you without you having to prove your worth. And that, more than anything, is what makes her afraid. Because if she does not act now, if she does not make herself known, if she does not step into the space she so desperately wants to claim, someone else will. That is the thought that haunts her now, that keeps her awake at night, that forces her to confront the reality of the situation. She does not have time to waste. She does not have the luxury of waiting for the perfect moment. She does not have the privilege of assuming that you will simply be there, waiting for her to gather her courage. Because men like you do not stay unnoticed for long. And if she is not careful, if she allows her hesitation to win, if she lets her fear keep her from acting, she will lose you before she ever had the chance to know what could have been. She cannot allow that to happen. She refuses to be the woman who looks back on this moment with regret, who tells herself that she should have done something, that she should have been braver, that she should have taken the risk instead of letting uncertainty steal what might have been hers. She has reached her breaking point now. She has spent enough time watching, enough time waiting, enough time wondering what it would be like if she had the courage to claim what she wants. She is done hiding. She is done hesitating. She is ready to risk it all. Chosen one, the weight of your gaze is no longer something that can be ignored. You have seen it happen time and time again. The moment your eyes lock onto another's, something shifts. A quiet storm brews in the air, an unspoken exchange takes place, and suddenly, everything else fades into the background. Your presence is no longer something passive. It has become a force that speaks before you even utter a word. Women feel it. They recognize the intensity, the depth, the unwavering certainty in your eyes, and they are left shaken, intrigued, unable to turn away. It is not merely the way you look at them, it is the way you see them. There is a difference between a glance and a gaze, between looking and perceiving. Most men glance. They cast their eyes without intention, hoping to be noticed, unsure of themselves, unsure of what they even want. But you, chosen one, are different. When you look at a woman, it is with a certainty that is rare, an awareness that is undeniable, a presence that leaves no room for doubt. You do not seek validation. You do not hope for approval. Your gaze does not beg, it commands. Women are drawn to this because it is unfamiliar. They are used to being admired, but rarely are they truly seen. They are used to being noticed, but rarely are they studied with such quiet confidence. Your eyes tell them that you are not here to play games, that you are not intimidated, that you will not shrink yourself to fit into the expectations of others. And that, chosen one, is what makes your presence so magnetic. They find themselves reacting in ways they did not anticipate. Their voices soften when they speak to you, as if instinctively adjusting to match the weight of your energy. Their hands move subconsciously, adjusting their hair, touching their lips, fidgeting with their jewelry. All unconscious signals that they are aware of your presence on a level deeper than logic. Even those who try to maintain their composure will feel the shift within themselves. You do not just exist in the same space as them, you change the space itself. But chosen one, with this power comes an even greater responsibility. It is not just a game of attraction, it is an art of self-mastery. If your presence is this powerful, then every interaction must be intentional. You must be aware that your gaze has the power to awaken emotions, to stir desires, to expose vulnerabilities. Not everyone will be ready for what your presence demands. Some will be drawn to it, some will fear it, some will try to challenge it, but all will feel it. This is why you must remain in control. You do not chase, you do not seek, you do not act from desperation. Instead, you allow the right ones to come forward. Allow the moment to unfold as it should. Allow the energy to speak for itself. Your presence alone is an invitation, a test, a filter that reveals who is truly aligned with you. And those who cannot handle it, they will remove themselves. Not because you asked them to, but because they know they cannot meet you where you stand. So carry your presence like a weapon, sharp and precise. Let your gaze be the unspoken declaration of everything you are, everything you have become. Let it speak of strength, of confidence, of a man who moves through the world with absolute certainty. And watch as the world continues to respond. Chosen one, in a world where people fill the silence with empty words, your eyes speak louder than anything you could say. You have already learned that words can be deceptive, that people often say what they do not mean, that conversations are filled with half-truths and masks. But your gaze does not lie. It does not waver. It does not need explanation. Women feel this more than anyone else. They have spent their lives sifting through words, through false compliments, through rehearsed lines from men who seek their approval. But when they meet your eyes, they are faced with something they cannot ignore. There is no performance in your gaze, no neediness, no uncertainty. Instead, there is a silent confidence, a depth that cannot be faked, a challenge that dares them to show up as their most authentic selves. This is what makes your eye contact irresistible, chosen one. It is not about seduction, not about manipulation. It is about presence. When you look at a woman, you do not just glance and move on. You hold, you observe, you allow the energy to build without rushing it. And in that moment, she feels something she rarely feels with others. True, undivided attention. Most men cannot do this. They look away too soon, afraid of the intensity. They break the moment with nervous laughter or forced words, desperate to fill the space. But you remain still. You hold the silence. You allow the moment to unfold naturally, knowing that the most powerful exchanges do not always need words. And this is what makes you different. Women may not always understand why they feel so drawn to you, why they feel nervous yet excited in your presence, why they find themselves thinking about that brief moment when your eyes met theirs. But the truth is, chosen one, they are responding to something they have never truly encountered before. Your gaze is not just looking at them, it is seeing them. It is acknowledging something deeper, something unspoken, something that they may not even fully understand about themselves. But not every woman will be ready for this kind of intensity. Some will feel exposed under your gaze, as if their carefully curated persona is being stripped away. Some will retreat, unable to meet you at your level. Others will be drawn in, but unsure of why. And then, there will be those who recognize it instantly, who hold your gaze without flinching, who respond with the same level of certainty, who are not intimidated but intrigued. Chosen one, everything inside of her is screaming for her to act. Every instinct, every emotion, every unspoken desire is pushing her toward the inevitable truth. She must do something before it is too late. She cannot sit back and hope that you will somehow notice her the way she has noticed you. She cannot leave this to chance, cannot trust that fate will align perfectly without any effort on her part. Because you are not the kind of man who waits for someone who is too afraid to meet you where you stand. She knows this now. She sees it in the way you move through the world, unbothered, unaffected, unshaken by the attention that surrounds you. She sees it in the way others react to you, how they are drawn to your presence but never quite seem to understand how to hold on to you. She sees it in the way you carry yourself, as if you are already whole, as if you do not seek anything outside of yourself to complete you. And that is what sets you apart. That is what makes her realize that if she wants to be the one standing by your side, she has to be worthy of the position. She cannot rely on beauty alone, on charm alone, on the same effortless allure that worked on every other man before you. Because you are not like every other man. And that means she has to be more. She has to step into this with the same certainty that you carry within yourself. She has to make herself known in a way that is undeniable, in a way that leaves no room for doubt, in a way that ensures that if there was ever a question of who was meant to stand beside you, she is the only answer. And so, she decides, she will step forward, she will risk rejection, she will surrender her pride, her fear, her hesitation, because she would rather face failure than spend the rest of her life wondering if she missed out on the one man who was different from all the rest. She does not know how this will end. She does not know if you have been waiting for her to make this move, if you have already sensed what she has been feeling all along, if you have been watching to see if she would be bold enough to step into what she truly wants. But she knows one thing for certain. She cannot leave this moment behind without knowing the answer. She has lived too many years in control, too many years holding back, too many years deciding who was worthy of her attention. But now, for the first time, she has met a man who makes her feel like she is the one who must prove herself. And she is ready. Ready to take the leap. Ready to risk everything, because even if she falls, even if she is wrong, even if this moment does not unfold the way she hopes, at least she will know that she was brave enough to fight for what she wanted. And that is worth everything.